Last Man on Earth has recently taken me through a series of thoughts and emotions. I want to start off by saying I would consider myself a fan of the show, with it being one of the few shows that I actively try to watch week after week. I enjoy its comedic take on the overwrought post-apocalyptic genre, though I have seen better.
What's he do? Just say base. Or freeze. What a tip.
And I just plain like the show's vibe and its blend of influences. As a post-apocalyptic comedy, death can play a factor, but with a few exceptions, death doesn't really have a dramatic bite. So when a character spends 2 episodes trapped in the elevator less than 500 feet from the rest of the cast, you would assume things would work out.
Put on your slippers and sit by the fire. You've reached your top and you just can't get any higher. You're in your place and you know where you are. In your Shangri-La. Sit back in your old rocking chair. You need not worry.
You can see why this scene hit me in the ear. I had to sit and stare at the screen for a minute. It's not that this character had plot armor. In fact, she would be the safest bet if a character had to bite the big one. But why kill off a character this way? Why via suicide? Especially one who is already bleeding out through an accidental shot to the leg. Why not let her bleed out? I harp on this because death within fictional stories serves a purpose, and the method says something about the world and the people within it. It can educate the audience as well as motivate the characters. However, both still seem to be a mystery here. My interest was piqued and I was hoping the show would answer this event in a meaningful way. The next episode is a flashback that creates and answers some mysteries by introducing a new character, maybe a replacement for our recently deceased. The episode after that, we're back with the main cast.
Was not ready.
The following episode, our would-be dead character is revealed to be alive. Wait, what? How are we supposed to feel about this fake out? As an audience, what are we supposed to learn or gain from this? What are the characters supposed to learn or gain from this? Besides that, I'm puzzled by the information we're presented. If this was some sort of Russian roulette situation where the gun fired a blank, why did the gun go off with a bang? If she's not dead, is this guy actually dead?
I hold here what are probably Lewis's remains, and a few bolts.
One can only suspend disbelief so much. If that suspension is broken, it can lead to unneeded second guessing. The mental gymnastics situations like this create can lead to the audience being taken out of the story. It can come off as manipulative or downright toying with the audience emotions, as it feels more like false tragedy rather than a master twist. I feel lost as to what anyone involved is supposed to learn from the situation, myself included. To make matters worse, the characters quickly move on to the next obstacle, never addressing the situation to a satisfying degree. Somewhere in my mind, I can't help but think Game of Thrones wishes they had this type of fake-out death with Jon Snow. Somewhere else, I can't help but think of Glenn's fake-out death in Walking Dead, where a member of a group is heavily suggested to die. The show then takes a break, only for the character to be revealed alive through some dubious excuse. How could Glenn survive that? This fake-out death not only led me to not really care about Glenn's actual death, it was one of the leading factors for me to drop The Walking Dead entirely. I already had my moment of shock for him. I already mourned. But I digress. What's funny is when thinking about an exception to this idea or an example of a way to make this idea work, I have to look no further than 8 episodes prior. The season 3 premiere of The Last Man on Earth ends with this. The body is checked, pronounced dead, discarded, and vanishes all in the following episode. This fake out death works because the idea, if he is actually alive or dead, is the focus of the entire episode. The character's actions center on the idea, making it the center of the audience's mind. When it's finally revealed that he's indeed alive, the time spent on the idea makes sense, and the investment feels paid off. The same thing cannot be said about this fake out death, where the characters mourn and move on before having any concrete evidence, thus draining any power a reuniting scene can have. When the character is revealed to be alive, it has no real effect on the characters. Yeah, they're happy to see her, but what exactly she went through and why is not really addressed in a satisfying way. I was hoping for a better payoff than that affected the world and the characters. Instead, the audience is treated to a moment that meant nothing. This is like taking Hitchcock's suspense versus shock theory, except we show the bomb under the table, have 5 minutes of dialogue, the bomb goes off, then the characters walk out unscathed. This is not how you write a character twist. This is not how you kill off a character. Death or a lack of dying has to have logical sense and meaning, even if that meaning is that death is meaningless. Especially with death being such a constant in today's television and film, it's already hard to become invested in characters or ideas, so when that investment doesn't pay off, it can leave a bad taste in your mouth. By cycling through the scene and figuring out how I feel and why, I'm hoping to come to some sort of catharsis that the show lacked. Last Man on Earth still has more pros than cons in my book, so I'm going to finish this season out before making any decision about continuing watching this. But right now, it's on warning.